Welcome to Housing After 60. I am Charles Odell. On this site, we analyze the math and the reality of senior housing to find your best options. Let's get started.
Welcome to another deep dive from Housing After 60. Buying that dream retirement home, it sounds absolutely wonderful, right? But what if the very tool designed to make it easy could actually be quietly draining your nest egg? Today, we are looking at the hidden risks of bridge loans, and this is all based on our latest research at housingafter60.com.
Now, that's a direct quote from our founder, Charles Odell, and believe me, it is a very serious warning. What many lenders are selling is this simple, wonderful convenience, the ability to buy your next home before you sell your current one, is often in reality a pretty sophisticated financial trap. And it's one that's designed to drain your hard-earned equity. So here's our game plan for today. First up, we're going to talk about the dream move, why these loans seem so incredibly perfect on the surface. Then, we're going to pull back the curtain on something we call the equity trap and its pretty shocking cost. After that, don't worry, we'll arm you with a 7-step safety plan to help you neutralize that risk. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with a dead simple go-no-go checklist to make your decision crystal clear. Okay, let's dive right into that dream. The appeal of a bridge loan is incredibly powerful, especially when you're planning for retirement. Just imagine finding that perfect single-story home and being able to snatch it up immediately, without all the stress of selling your current one first. It really does sound like the perfect solution, doesn't it?
And let's be totally honest, who on earth wants the headache of a double move? A bridge loan lets you bypass all that chaos. We're talking no packing up twice, no dealing with storage units, no living in a temporary rental. And it gives you this huge competitive edge. You can walk in and make a strong, clean, non-contingent offer the second you find the perfect home. And that is a massive, massive advantage for any buyer out there. Right, but that dream of convenience, well, it comes at a very steep and, frankly, often hidden price. This is where we need to talk about the harsh reality of what we're calling the equity trap. So, the big question is, what is the real cost of all that convenience? We've crunched the numbers based on what we're seeing in the 2026 market, and it's a number you absolutely need to understand before you even think about signing any kind of loan document. And here it is. This is the number that should really stop you in your tracks. $46,200. Just let that sink in for a second. That's the average cost to carry 2 homes for just 6 months using a bridge loan. And look, this isn't just some fee. This is your equity, your retirement savings, literally evaporating into thin air. So, why on earth is the cost so high right now? Well, as we noted on the Housing After 60 website, it's because of something we call the 2026 maturity wall. To put it simply, lenders are getting nervous. They're predicting that a lot more houses are going to hit the market soon, which will make it harder and take longer for you to sell your old home. And to protect themselves from that risk, well, they are charging sky-high interest rates on these loans. And here's exactly how it breaks down. Just look at that top line. The 10.5% interest rate alone costs you over $31,000 in just 6 months. But that's not even all of it. It's the things people often forget about, like paying double property taxes and this huge premium for vacant home insurance. When you add it all up, you are looking at a staggering $7,700 draining from your savings every single month. Okay, so that was the bad news. I know, it's a lot. The good news is that you do not have to be a victim of this trap. If you're prepared, you can absolutely neutralize the risk. Based on our research, we've developed a proactive 7-step safety plan to protect you and your money. And here they are, your 7 steps to safety. I want you to think of this as your pre-flight checklist before you make a huge financial decision. Following these steps ensures your choice is going to be based on cold, hard facts, not on emotion. So let's break down exactly what each of these steps means for you. All right, the first 3 steps are all about being brutally honest with yourself financially. Step 1 is the real equity audit. This means calculating what you'll actually walk away with after all the fees and a buffer for market changes. Step 2 is so important. For most retirees on a fixed income, a standard loan, it's just a non-starter. You'll likely need an asset-based loan where the lender qualifies you based on your assets, not just your monthly income. And step 3 is the stress test. Could you carry both homes for a full year without having to sell off any of your retirement assets? If that answer is no, that's a major red flag. Now, steps 4 through 7 are all about flawless execution. Because the moment you sign that loan, you are in a race against the clock. You need to price your old home to sell immediately. That's what we call a shock and awe listing. Next, you have to secure that vacant home insurance rider. Believe me, it is not optional. And please, please spend the money on a pre-listing inspection. You want to find any deal-killing issues before a buyer does. And finally, the second your old house closes, wire that money to pay off the bridge loan instantly. Every single day you wait is costing you a fortune. And now we come to the final and I think most important tool. We've designed this go-no-go checklist to be a really simple, cold-blooded filter. It's meant to strip away all the emotion and empower you to make a sound financial decision. And the rule here is incredibly simple. You have to be completely 100% honest with yourself. There is absolutely no room for wishful thinking. A single no here is a major red flag that the risks might just be too big, and they might outweigh the rewards. So let's just walk through these critical questions together. Number 1, after all the costs, will you still have at least 40% real equity left? 2, do you have that $46,000 cash buffer, our 6-month average cost, sitting there, liquid and ready to go? 3, will carrying both of these mortgages keep your debt-to-income ratio, your DTI, under 45%, because lenders are really strict about this? 4, is your local market hot enough to sell your home in under 30 days? 5, have you done that pre-inspection to make sure there are no costly surprises waiting for you? And finally, number 6, will you avoid a massive tax bill on the sale of your home? Well, the verdict is pretty simple. 5 or 6 yes answers means you're in the green. A bridge loan can be a smart, strategic tool for you. But if you have 0 to 2 yes answers, that is a clear red light. The risk is just too high, and you should really plan to sell your old home first. Now, if you find yourself in that yellow caution zone, maybe with 3 or 4 yes answers, you need to be extremely careful. For a full technical breakdown of what to do in that scenario, you've got to check out the detailed post on housingafter60.com. You know, this quote from our research really just sums it all up, doesn't it? Your home holds so many memories, but when you are making a financial decision of this magnitude, you absolutely have to let the numbers do the talking. Ultimately, it all comes down to this single question. Is the convenience of a simpler move really worth a potential $46,000 gamble with your retirement? Only you can answer that. Thanks for watching. For more guides and the full article on this topic, head over to housingafter60.com. And don't forget to check the links in the description below.
Your peace and enjoyment in retirement depends on the right housing strategy. Visit housingafter60.com for our full analysis and cost transparency guides. I will see you in the next video.